Earlier this week, the team at Southern Distilling Company welcomed Neighborhood TV for a full tour of their Statesville distillery. We got to see some of the key steps that go into making their award-winning bourbon whiskey, and we were also treated to a taste test featuring several of their most popular product lines.
So tell me, what is the difference between bourbon and whiskey?
So the difference between bourbon and whiskey is very, very simple. Every bourbon is a whiskey, but not every whiskey is a bourbon. So it's very easy. It's your ABCs. Has to be made in America, has to go into a brand new barrel every single time, and has to be majority corn. So a majority of our grains are purchased from 20 miles around the distillery. We've got a lot of corn growers here in the area, so we're going to be utilizing North Carolina grown corn. We're going to mill it so it's into almost a grits-like texture, and that's what we're going to use as the base of our product, 51% or more of corn. Then what you have are different grains like rye and wheat. So depending on what type of focus or what type of flavor profile we want, wheat will give us a sweeter flavor profile, typically. Rye will give us more of a spicier flavor profile. If you're thinking about like bread, wheat bread versus rye bread, similar connotation when it comes to your bourbon as well. And then we always use a little bit of our malted barley as well. So these are some of the core ingredients that we use every single day in our products.
So here we are in what has to be the favorite place of most of the visitors to Southern Distilling, the tasting room.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is the good stuff. This is the fun side. So we're going to be going through a handful of our products today. I know it looks like a little bit more than a handful, but we're going to end up starting over here with our white whiskey, so otherwise known as White Dog. So this is going to be an 80% corn, 10% rye, 10% malted barley mash bill. It'll be really delicious. A lot of sweetness coming through. You'll get those flavor notes of the corn. We'll move over to our standard, which is our high rye bourbon. So we'll taste our standard, which is a blend, and our single barrel, which is one true single barrel. Our double rye, which is a blend of 2 different rye whiskeys finished in a bourbon barrel. Also really delicious. We'll talk a little bit about more of that here in just a minute. And then our Paragon collection, which as we know is known as best bourbon overall. And so we'll taste those side by side in the 3 different expressions that we have. So the 3 different proof points. So we're just going to do a little bit in there. So we've all had a little bit of a wine tasting. So what we're going to do here is you're going to keep your mouth open, and as you're smelling it, just slowly move it across back and forth. Your right and your left side of your nostril actually get different scents. So we're going to slowly just move it back and forth and just smell. It's quite unique. It's quite unique. So once you've smelled it enough and you feel pretty confident with that, you're just going to take a little tiny sip. And what you're going to do is you're going to let that really roll all the way down your tongue. So that way, every bit of your tongue is coated in the whiskey, and you can actually taste, because you know the different areas of your tongue actually taste different flavors and spices. So we want to go ahead and roll it down our tongue. So I'll take a little bit. I'll do it with you. Okay? Let's try. So this is something that we would then put into a barrel. It's 100 proof. So we would put this into a barrel, let this age for about 2 to 5 years, maybe 6 years, depending on what it tastes as we kind of go through the aging process. This right here is our award-winning Paragon collection. We have 3 different expressions. Our expressions are noted by the proof points or the alcohol percentage. So we have a 92 proof, 100 proof, and a cask strength, meaning barrel strength. We did nothing to bring that proof point down. So this is the 92. This is the bottled and bond. And then this is the cask strength. You can see a little bit of the color difference between the 3. My personal favorite profile goes more towards the bottled and bond. I like the 100 proof. I think it works well in a cocktail. I can sip it neat. I can add ice to it, and it keeps you going back. It's a very complex flavor profile. So you can see why it's won so many awards. You can understand why it's the best in the world. And so we're so proud that it's coming out of Statesville, North Carolina as well.
For Neighborhood TV, I'm Michael Barrett.